if you like, you would be welcome to ask anything that you so see fit.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my spiritual journey or evolution of it and the expansion of my consciousness.
What would you like to know?
I guess where I'm at with it at this time in my human life. How much more can I expect?
You can expect infinite more. Your expansion is never ending. You are able to reach whatever so heights that you so choose. And the question relating to spiritual journeys is often limiting in that there is not one part of any of your journey that is not spiritual, whether it is human or it is in the fields that you have deemed to be more non-physical than the others, because your body itself is made of spirit as well. So the question as to where you are implies that there is some sort of measuring yard for your journey, your own individuated journey, for which you have come to this, what you are calling incarnation experience, in order to have whatever expansion that you so chose to have before you, but before is not quite the right term. It is more your will, moment to moment, what you choose for your journey. So we would ask if you would like to ponder upon or ask yourself, what is this measuring yard that you are holding? And if there is a measuring yard that you are holding, where do you believe yourself to be on it? And is it serving you at all to be holding on to a measurement of this particular aspect? Or is it instead perhaps relenting the joy and expansion that you would naturally be having if you were not thinking about or pondering about or trying to decipher where you are on some level of having to be measured?
Yes, that makes sense. I think it's hard for me to not measure something as a human. So having to let go of that measurement probably will be very difficult for me because I'm always measuring stuff. I have a very analytical mindset that gets in my way.
It is not that it is in your way. We believe that the truth of the matter is that you may continue to have these measurements, but that a playfulness, the same way that when you were a child, you borrowed your father's tape measure, or you borrowed the worker's tape measure and you expanded this ribbon to its longest possible expansion and pressed the button and had the measuring roll back up with a snap. It was playful because the truth was it did not matter how long the tape became. What you were doing was experimenting with what the measurement could be or how measurement worked. It was only later on when you were taught about what an inch is, what a centimeter is. And by the way, all of the measurements that you have are imaginary in that the human mind has decided arbitrarily what measurements to give. These are not even the measurements that you originally had as a species or as a collective. You used to measure things in a very different way. But you have learned to measure and that there are rules and that a centimeter is a centimeter, an inch is an inch, a pound is a pound, etc. And you are no longer playful with these aspects. You no longer allow yourself elasticity within these measurements. So you may continue to measure and have playfulness with it. Again, the question is, where do you believe you are on this measuring factor?
I feel like I am and have expanded over the last couple of months. So I believe I am working hard to integrate more of that playfulness and understanding of allowing more to come in and to be received in and to flow through me. It's just a matter of trusting what I think I already know and believing in what I know.
Yes. And what else is there to trust in or believe in at all?
Yeah, right. That's the true question. It's what I don't see and what I don't feel. So that's really trusting in my intuition and understanding of what I see and feel.
Well, that is indeed all that there is. Because no matter what you can be told by an external source, whether that be another human who has had experience before you, whether that be another external source in the form of, for example, something like what we are experiencing in this now, or an external source in the form of your government or in the form of authority or in the form of anything at all, the only thing that you are actually experiencing is your perception of those things. So the truth can only remain with you because it is your perception that is absorbing or consenting to whatever it is that is coming externally. So if you were accepting of the idea that there are not unseen, non-physical forces in the universe, then you would also have to accept that there is no gravity, that there is no air coming in and out of your lungs, because you are not a scientist that can measure oxygen in the air. You have been told simply that it is there. You cannot in every moment ensure that that is true. All you can do is adopt the belief that it is true because it is convenient to you to do so. In other words, you do not have any benefit from fretting upon whether or not there's oxygen going in and out of your lungs. It would be very disturbing or disruptive to your experience to have to worry about that in each moment with a oxygen meter. It would take up the majority of your time, but it is much more convenient to believe that, okay, this is how the lung works. There is this thing, this imaginary thing, this invisible thing called oxygen, and it goes in. And for some reason, which I do not understand also, it goes into my brain and my brain functions. So you have accepted these things as truth, and therefore you do not need to think about them. But they are only truth because you have accepted them to be so. If they were something that you needed to measure yourself as true, then you would have to walk around with some sort of scientific device, which you would then have to believe was accurate as well. And there's a whole cascade effect of having beliefs. So the question earlier about what else could be true really is the question, as you said, because there really is nothing else other than your own experience and perception that you could ever claim to be true.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.